are in weekend number 2, night number 2. So this is our final evening of the festival. And I'm so thrilled to be joined by Lauren and Hannah. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So let's jump right in and have you kind of introduce yourselves to our audience and a little bit about what got you here to this space today.
Okay. Hi. I'm Lauren Settembrino. I grew up in Central Jersey, kind of became an adult in New York, and recently moved to San Francisco. I found this on Instagram, so yay, marketing. Like that ad that ended up in my stories, like that was money well spent.
Word.
So yeah, I made this solo about 2 years ago, maybe,
Yeah.
and I knew it was something that I wanted in my pocket as I moved out of New York and had to kind of rebuild my career because I wanted something to kind of jump off of that I could make sure that I could still be performing and engaging with my community and whatnot. So that was the solo, and then the Instagram ad was the arrival to Belmont.
Thank you for that. My grantors will be very excited to hear it.
I have good news for you.
Yes.
I also am here because of Instagram.
Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Hannah MacKenzie Margulies. I grew up near Boston and have moved around a lot, but currently I'm living in Minneapolis. And the solo that I'm showing this weekend, I first made in November of 2020, which was kind of a wild time. And I made it as like a site-specific work for film as part of a like virtual residency that I was in at the time. And then, but I made it very fast, but I really liked it. And so last summer had an opportunity to revise it and show it live. And that was pretty interesting. And then, yeah, when I saw the ad for this festival, I was like, oh, maybe this would be a chance to get to do that solo again. So I just find that there's so often, we get one show, maybe two, and then it's like it kind of goes away. And I feel like I just get so much out of having the opportunity to perform something like more than once, and especially like over time. So just so grateful for the opportunity to be here and do that.
Yes. And thank you for being here. So, as we've stated, you're both presenting solos on the program this evening, our 2 soloists. And I'm going to ask you a question on behalf of my students. They contest the idea of their very first choreography lab having to be a solo on themselves. And so you've both created these solos on yourself. So can you speak to kind of the importance, or maybe the takeaways, or what that process is like for you? Because it is an intimate process. It's you, and there's sometimes not a lot of feedback, and it can be a vulnerable situation, especially if you're telling your own story, which is what a lot of our young artists are doing. Yeah, so can you reflect specifically on that for them, on what it's like, the importance of it?
This is a really interesting question to me because I feel much more comfortable making solos on myself than doing just about anything else choreographically, and find working with other people incredibly intimidating. And so, because when it's myself, I mean, I can't always, especially these days, like do the thing that I have in my head. But to be honest, though, most of what I make, like I don't tend to have sort of big, grand visions. It's much more about, like it is coming from a more internal place. And so it always just feels kind of decadent to make work on myself. However, to maybe speak to your actual question, I think that when you make work on yourself, you can obviously only rely on yourself. And so you have to be really specific about what it is that you're doing and what it is that you want. And of course, like, you can go out and improvise, but if you want to be able to recreate the thing,
Mm-hmm.
do you have to actually set it? And I think there's a discipline there and like requirement to actually make a choice
Mm-hmm.
that is really, really important. And then, when you go out and work with other people, you may be able to rely on them to some extent to make that choice or to be like, which version do I like, A or B? Okay, I like B. But to force yourself to do that and to really make that choice, I think is the harder thing sometimes. And so before you layer on all of the additional complexity, or just in addition to working with other people where there are these additional complexities, I certainly have found that there's just a ton of value in making solos on myself.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
I think that the fact that you're working in an educational setting
Mm-hmm.
is really important. If I can I ask a question back?
Yes.
Is this for a lot of the like the participants? Is this some of their first forays into choreography? So it's scary that first time
Mm-hmm.
that somebody says, make up some moves. It is.
It
I
is.
know for me the thing that got me comfortable or started to get me comfortable was because I would have a teacher turn off all of the lights and we would all do like our own little improvs with different songs and different prompts, nobody looking at each other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, before you get in front of people and start directing them, I think that you need to have some kind of understanding of where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Even just like what your movement style is. And you don't figure that out until you get to spend a lot of time with yourself. Then you can start bringing it to other people. Then you can start directing. But there is an element even of just like movement generation.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to spend time with yourself. And I think a solo is a good opportunity to do it. I do think that their composition is a really good composing solos in space is hard.
Yes.
And composing multiple bodies in space is a skill in and of itself. And like they'll get the opportunities to do that. It's not like you're
Yeah.
telling them you never get to make a group piece.
No, it's just the first time.
Yeah,
The
just
first time is a solo. The second time is a duet. The third time is an ensemble. So like we build up to the masses.
yeah, move your body.
Uh huh.
Understand how you like to move. Maybe you really like floor work. Maybe you're like really elegant lyrical, like whatever that is. But you need to at least get familiar with that before you can start telling other people what to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for that. Um, can we now switch more to the works you actually are presenting and kind of where that idea came from? And since they are previously presented, there's a little bit, possibly a little bit of workshopping happening and how that has evolved over time.
Okay. I this solo I think took like 4 months in the studio and 6 months of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It I mean, and therapy. Like it comes this piece for me comes from a personal place, but I'm not personally interested in kind of putting my diary on stage. I'm
Yeah.
a lot more interested in like taking something that's important to me and using reframing, re-understanding, opening it up in a way that actually explores a bigger idea that's a little bit more universally relevant.
Yes.
Like, what are we actually saying here?
Mm-hmm.
So it started with me knowing that I had something really complex that I couldn't understand. And that is where the thinking came in. For me, it was ideas around like human sexuality and like sex positivity, and that there was a big healing and learning process. Eventually, by the time I was able to get into the studio, I had some idea of what I wanted to say. But it truly took, I was like on the, like, I think the E train in New York, and I was like listening to this song by my favorite band, and I was like, that's what it's about. Like that. Like I
Yeah.
finally understood. Revisiting it has been so surprising. I have changed so much in ways that I guess I didn't notice. My dancing has changed. I feel like a bit more polished, and I feel like a wider dancer. With like my field of vision has really increased as I move, which is part of why this space is hilarious, because I'm like, I've been working so hard opening up my eyes, and it is so dark, this stage. Like, where am I? um, but also, like, I've come to understand that I'm bisexual. I've like had new, like, I mean, moving to San Francisco, like that'll certainly like do something to your understanding of sexuality. Um, so revisiting this, there are themes that I want to adapt. There are starting places that feel like maybe they have a different route now, and that has been so exciting to like actually feel this piece be alive. Makes me feel like it's good that like I'm growing and I'm changing, but like also that reminder that like nothing is a finished product. As long as you keep engaging with it, and then you have to make that choice. That choice of like, well, do I hold on to what works? Do I like keep the previous impulses, the intentions? Do I call on the past from the person I was when I made this? And there's nothing wrong with that if you want to honor the starting point. Or do you like take that kind of leap and let it change? I'm going for the latter. I've chosen to go for the latter. And we shall see if it works. It might not be working, but we'll find out.
It is. Good.
That was a long answer.
No, that's okay. It was an important one. We're processing it.
So in some ways, I guess I have almost the opposite experience in terms of making this solo, because you could say I made it on assignment, and so we're talking like hours in which I made the original version, and part of it really originally was an improvisation that I then later set. At the time, so I make a lot of my work I make from like I start with writing, often just like free writes in the moment, and then pulling out phrases, words that are interesting to me and translating them into movement. So there's kind of a basis in whatever it is that I'm thinking about that is like virtually, like, there's no way for it to be intelligible by the audience unless there's some kind of like psychic connection going on, which I think sometimes there is, and that's always very magical. But at the time, I was my partner had COVID, and it was pre-vaccine, and it was very, very scary. And we had just moved to Minnesota, and it was November, and it was freezing cold, and it was so bleak. And I was thinking a lot about what it means to be home, and like, were we ever going to make it out of this kind of like liminal space that we had found ourselves in? And I feel like this solo was just a sort of like it kind of tumbled out, like sort of those feelings. And originally, the little film version I made, I was in my back alley, so I was on asphalt in boots, and it has a slight incline. And the thing that I've been really trying to work out now that I'm in a, you know, theater context is sort of how to bring that texture of that space, because I think I didn't initially appreciate how much that was part of it, just like the sound of the kind of gravel and the sound of like the birds and a truck going by and just kind of all these ambient things. And so I was especially noticing that the time in between when I performed it, I was also outside, but it was like just an outdoor performance space. But here I was especially noticing, so not quite the darkness, but the quietness. Like the audience is so polite, and it's like, oh wow, this is different. So, to be honest, like the movement material hasn't actually changed that much. But I've been just really trying to feel more present in it, and also just like been struggling. I mean, honestly, really since the time I made this, just like really been struggling with anxiety and sort of trying to find a way to be on stage and not be like in a state of panic the whole time. And that has felt like, I feel like I have been doing better at that. And so that has felt like a real win this weekend of feeling, yeah, like mostly not panicking. So that's great.
Well, I've seen no panic. I don't know about anyone else. I've seen no panic. Thank you for sharing that with us. But I mean, you're playing it off really well.
I like have internally remarked on how calm and collected of a mover you are.
Yes. Yes, there's a subtleness about it. So both of you have created these solos from an intimate, personal space for yourself. What do you hope that the audience translates from that? What would you like for them to take away from it?
I don't necessarily want anybody to be walking out with some kind of lesson, anything that they've learned. I just want to make them feel like they can't breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
I've seen the work, so that makes sense to me.
Like an assault of
Okay.
anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, also definitely not going for any particular lesson. I think I'm really interested in general, and I think this solo fits in this realm, of the way that dance, art, my work, whatever, can kind of help people experience emotional catharsis. And so I think I am, and maybe not in a like Disney movie way, but just in a, I heard, Kavi and Preeti talking about this the other last night about like wanting people to feel something, and I resonate with that, but maybe just a little more specifically that like that something would crack, and I'm, obviously it's always going to depend where a person is and what they're coming in from and all of that, but I think that's when I see a work that I feel like really sticks with me, sometimes, of course, like it's very clever or it's just very beautiful, but I feel like the ones that really, really stick with me are the ones where I do feel like something has been uh, like set free or opened or whatever. So
A shift.
yeah,
You feel the
exactly.
shift. Yeah, I think that's important. I think that's what most artists that come and sit at the chair with me. It's you want them to be moved.
Yeah.
You want the audience to be moved. You want them to experience something. If it's funny, laugh. If it's sad, cry. That's what I say in my opening, um, my curtain speeches for the student concerts. Is also educating the audience on what their role is, as far as come in and experience something. You don't have to understand it. You don't even have to like it. But what did you feel? What did you see? What did it make you think, if anything? Because it may just be me. I can't watch dance without feeling something. I mean, even if it was the Lindy Hop class this morning, that was fun. That was exciting. I'm just, yeah. And it was very nice at 9 o'clock in the morning to have that little pep in my step as I sat in the audience and watched everyone else bounce around.
I many years ago I saw I forget the name of the piece, but it was like something Pam Tanowitz made. So the Joyce, it was to Bach, I think, which I just personally hate. Um, but and like the pianist was on stage, something golden, and there was a moment where at least one dancer was doing it was either like kickball changes or pas de bourrées on repeat. And it was hilarious. And so I laughed and I was alone in laughing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, am I rude? Am I not taking it seriously? But also like if the audience is seeing it, it's there. Actually, I don't totally believe that. That's quippy, but um, but it was a lot of pas de bourrées. And like, you know what? Like these are some of the best dancers in the world on like a renowned stage doing kickball change.
Doing kickball change for like 3 minutes.
We gotta laugh.
That's
we
it.
have to laugh.
Yes.
I say as I, made a not funny piece at all. I like spoke to Jen, which is like, thank God. Like they're here to remind and like just offer that up to this audience.
Yes.
Because, like I have
Serious corner over here.
yeah, we're not a fun time. And we're not trying to be.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay.
I really appreciate a performance event where you can actually go through the spectrum of emotions. And I feel like that is exactly what we're doing here. We have the serious works that are really going to make you think, but we also have like this jovial excitement that's happening and then all of these things in the middle. And I mean, at AM Dance, our tagline is moving with purpose, and that purpose is to move you, whatever that means. How you define that is completely up to you. But we're hoping that the audience comes in and experiences something, takes something away, because that's the power of live art, in my opinion. So thank you so much for being here with us this weekend, for traveling from afar to be with us and presenting these beautiful, exquisite solos. We really, really appreciate you being here, and I hope you have a great time on the stage tonight.
Thank you. This was really wonderful.
Yeah, just thank you so much, and to the whole team. It's been such a pleasure. So